There are things inside your home right now, things you touch every single day without thinking twice, that may be quietly weakening your body after the age of 70. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, in ways that steal your energy, your sleep, your balance, and even the feeling that your body still belongs to you. And the hardest part is that most seniors never realize the damage until years have already passed. Emotional message, you know this feeling. The house becomes quieter as the years pass. The routines stay the same chair near the window, the same kitchen light in the early morning, the same hallway you walk through every night before bed. Sometimes you look around your own home and it feels comforting. Other times it feels like time itself has settled into the walls. There are evenings when the television stays on only to fill the silence, and nights when your body feels more tired than it should, even though you barely moved all day. Nobody around you sees it, but you do. You notice how your knees ache a little longer in the morning, how your breathing feels heavier after simple tasks, how your sleep is not as deep as it once was. And because these changes happen slowly, you begin accepting them as normal aging. But sometimes the real problem is not age itself. Sometimes it is the environment you are living in every single day without realizing what it is doing to you. Credibility bridge. Doctors who spend years caring for older adults often notice something surprising. The seniors who remain mentally sharp, physically steady, and emotionally healthier into their 80s usually make small changes that seem almost insignificant at first. Elders who lived long lives often understood something many people forget. The body quietly responds to everything around it, even the smallest daily habits and surroundings. And that is why what you are about to hear matters more than you realize. We will get to point number 5 in a moment, and I want you to pay very close attention when we do, because it is the one that most people dismiss, and it is the one that changes everything. And we have not even reached the household item most seniors use every single day without realizing what it may be doing to their body over time. Now we discuss 7 points. Point 1. Old pillows may be damaging your body more than you think. You spend nearly a third of your life resting your head on a pillow, yet many seniors continue using pillows that have lost their support years ago. Over time, old pillows collect dust, moisture, bacteria, and allergens that slowly affect breathing and sleep quality. But even more than that, they quietly affect the neck and spine, causing stiffness that many people blame on aging alone. There was a man named Richard, 73 years old, who woke up every morning with headaches and neck pain. He believed it was simply part of getting older. One afternoon, his daughter replaced the pillow he had used for almost a decade. Within weeks, his sleep became deeper, and the constant tightness in his shoulders slowly began to ease. The tragedy is that small discomforts often become permanent because people stop questioning them. When pain becomes familiar, it begins to feel normal. But your body remembers every night of poor rest, even when you try not to notice it. Sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest weight over your health. Point 2. Harsh cleaning chemicals slowly change the air you breathe. Many homes smell clean because of strong sprays, bleach, and artificial fragrances. But after 70, the lungs become more sensitive than most people realize. The same chemicals that make a room smell fresh can quietly irritate breathing, dry the throat, and trigger headaches or fatigue over time. Margaret, a 76-year-old widow, cleaned her kitchen every morning with strong disinfectants because she wanted everything spotless. But over the years, she noticed a heaviness in her chest she could never explain. Her doctor eventually suggested reducing chemical exposure inside the house. She never imagined the products under her sink could affect her more than the dust she was trying to remove. The danger with these things is that they never announce themselves loudly. They work silently, slowly becoming part of your everyday life until your body begins reacting in ways you no longer understand. A clean home should never come at the cost of your peace or your breathing. But here is something I want you to sit with for a moment before we continue. How many things around you have you accepted simply because they have always been there? Point 3. Dim lighting quietly weakens both the mind and the body. As people age, The eyes naturally need more light, not less. Yet many seniors continue living in dim rooms with weak lamps and shadows that strain the eyes every evening. Poor lighting does more than make reading difficult. It affects mood, balance, memory, and even confidence while walking through the home. There was a woman named Eleanor who avoided walking to her kitchen late at night because she feared falling. Her hallway remained dark because she wanted to save electricity. One winter evening, she slipped near the doorway and injured her hip badly enough to change her independence forever. The frightening part is that falls often begin long before the actual fall happens. They begin with hesitation, uncertainty, and a body that no longer feels secure in its surroundings. Light does more than help you see. Sometimes it helps you remain independent. Point 4. Clutter quietly exhausts the aging mind. A crowded room may not seem dangerous at first. Old boxes, stacked papers, unused furniture, piles of clothes, they slowly become invisible because you see them every day. But the mind continues processing that clutter even when you stop noticing it consciously. Walter, 71 years old, lived alone after losing his wife. Over time, every room in his house became filled with objects he never moved. He often felt mentally tired without understanding why. When his grandson helped clear just one room, Walter admitted something he had not felt in years. He could finally breathe inside his own home again. Nobody is going to say this to your face, so I will. Sometimes clutter is not just physical. Sometimes it is grief that never found a place to go. Your home should support your peace, not quietly drain it. Point 5. Non-stick pans with scratches may expose your body to more than you realize. Many seniors still cook with old cookware they have owned for years, especially pans with worn surfaces and deep scratches. Over time, heat and damage can release particles into food that the body processes slowly, especially in later years when recovery becomes harder. A retired teacher named Helen used the same frying pan every morning for nearly 15 years. She trusted it because it had always been there. When her son replaced her cookware during a kitchen renovation, she laughed at first, believing it made no difference. But months later, she noticed her cooking felt lighter, cleaner, and somehow easier on her stomach. What comes next is the part that will stay with you long after this video ends. Do not skip it. The body becomes more vulnerable with age, even when the mind still feels strong. And sometimes, what harms us most are the things we stopped paying attention to years ago. Caring for yourself after 70 often begins with noticing what you have ignored for too long. If you have stayed with me this far, what comes next may explain something you have quietly felt for years but never had words for. Point 6. The television running constantly may be harming your mind in silence. Many seniors leave the television on from morning until night because silence feels too heavy. The voices in the background create a sense of company, but constant noise prevents the brain from fully resting. Over time, this endless stimulation can increase anxiety, disturb sleep, and quietly deepen feelings of loneliness rather than relieve them. George, 78 years old, admitted he had not spent a quiet evening in years. Every room in his house carried noise. One night during a power outage, he sat alone in silence for the first time in a long while. And what surprised him most was not the silence itself, but how exhausted his mind had become without him realizing it. There is a difference between peace and distraction. One restores you, the other slowly empties you while pretending to help. Silence is not always loneliness. Sometimes it is where healing begins. Point 7. An old mattress may be aging your body every single night. After 70, the body no longer recovers from poor sleep the way it once did. An old mattress places pressure on the joints, spine, and muscles for hours every night, turning rest into quiet physical stress. Many seniors wake up exhausted, not because they slept too little, but because their bodies never truly rested. There was a man named Samuel who believed his constant fatigue meant his health was failing. He stopped gardening, stopped visiting neighbors, and spent more time sitting alone. Eventually, his daughter convinced him to replace the mattress he had slept on for nearly 20 years. The improvement was not dramatic overnight, but within weeks, He began waking with more energy than he had felt in years. The heartbreaking thing about exhaustion is that it slowly steals pieces of your life before you notice they are gone. Your routines become smaller. Your world becomes quieter. Aging is difficult enough already. Your home should not make it harder. Deep reflection segment. There comes a point in life when you begin realizing how quietly time moves. One day you are carrying groceries with ease, climbing stairs without thinking, filling a house with noise and conversation. Then somehow, without warning, the evenings become quieter. The photographs become older. The people in those frames begin disappearing one by one, until sometimes you find yourself sitting alone, staring at moments that no longer exist except inside your memory. And perhaps that is why these small things matter more now than they once did. Because after 70, life is no longer only about surviving. It becomes about protecting what still remains. Your energy matters, your sleep matters, your peace matters. The body changes slowly, quietly, day after day. Just as the light outside slowly fades in the evening, without anyone noticing the exact moment it became dark, you begin understanding that comfort and harm can sometimes live in the exact same place. Empowerment shift. But there is something deeply important you must remember. The fact that you are hearing these things now means there is still time to care for yourself differently. Small changes may seem insignificant to the outside world, but inside an aging body, small changes can feel enormous. A brighter room can restore confidence. A quieter evening can calm the mind. A cleaner sleeping space can bring deeper rest than you have felt in years. You do not need perfection. You do not need expensive solutions or dramatic transformations. Sometimes the most meaningful acts of self-respect happen quietly, inside ordinary moments no one else ever sees. Replacing something worn out, opening a window for fresh air, turning off unnecessary noise, letting more light into a room that has felt dark for too long. These things may appear small, but they send a message to your body that it still matters, that you still matter. And after 70, that truth becomes more important than most people ever realize. The final point, and the truth that comes after it, is the reason this conversation matters so deeply after 70. Stay with me. Final closing. Earlier I told you there may be things inside your home quietly weakening your body without you even realizing it. But perhaps the deeper truth is this. Many people spend years taking care of everything except themselves. The house stays organized. The bills get paid. The routines continue. Yet the person living inside that home slowly becomes more tired, more disconnected, more invisible, even to themselves. Tonight, maybe you will walk through your home a little differently. Maybe you will notice the light in the hallway, the chair where you spend your evenings, the silence between sounds, the air you breathe before you sleep. And perhaps for the first time in a long while, you will ask yourself whether your home is truly helping you live, or quietly asking your body to carry more than it should. Take care of yourself, because time never waits. Call to action. If something in this video touched you, if it reminded you of something you have been quietly carrying, then share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you would like to continue this conversation, there is another video waiting for you that speaks to the quiet habits that slowly weaken the body after 70. I will see you there.